At this station, we're going to look at the death of Jesus. I'm going to read a passage of Scripture for us from the book of John, chapter 19, verses 28 through 35. It says, After this, Jesus, knowing that all was now finished, and to fulfill the Scriptures, he said, I thirst. A jar full of sour wine stood there, so they put a sponge full of the sour wine on a hyssop branch and held it up to his mouth. When Jesus had received the sour wine, he said, It is finished. And he bowed his head and he gave up his spirit. Since it was the day of preparation, and so that the bodies would not remain on the cross on the Sabbath, the Jews asked Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away. So the soldiers came and broke the legs of the first and of the other who had been crucified with him. But when they came to Jesus, they saw that he was already dead, and they did not break his legs. But one of the soldiers pierced his side with a spear, and at once there came out blood and water. He who saw it has borne witness. His testimony is true, and he knows that he is telling the truth, that you may also believe. You know, the interesting thing about what is taking place here is crucifixion was a horrific way to die. If they got to a point where they wanted to speed along the process, they would break the legs of the individuals because they had to use their legs to push up to get a breath. And so it would just make the agonizing process of crucifixion go faster. When they came to Jesus, they realized that he was already dead. Now, the scripture here tells us that he gave up his spirit. So even in his death, Jesus is still in control. He is dead. The soldier takes a spear, pokes him in the side, and blood and water flow. The writer of the book of John is John, one of his disciples, who says, I was there. I was an eyewitness of the fact that he was dead. And I want to communicate that so that you will believe, so that you may believe who Jesus is and what he accomplished for you. So at this point, I want to ask you to just simply pray a prayer of belief, that God would renew the belief that you have in him. If maybe you're in a situation right now where you just want that to be strengthened, maybe for you it's for the very first time to just see who Jesus is and what he accomplished on the cross. Would you just pray a prayer of saying, God, I believe that these events unfolded just like the scripture says.